On March 8, 2014, a massive Boeing 777 carrying 239 people took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia. The aircraft, known as Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, was scheduled to travel across the night sky toward Beijing, China. At first, everything appeared completely normal. Passengers settled into their seats while the aircraft climbed high above Southeast Asia, beneath the darkness of the early morning sky. Inside the cockpit, experienced pilots communicated calmly with air traffic controllers as the flight continued across the ocean. Then, something strange happened. Less than an hour after takeoff, the aircraft suddenly disappeared from civilian radar screens without warning. No distress call was sent. No emergency signal appeared. The plane simply vanished into the darkness. The final communication from the cockpit sounded completely ordinary. "Good night, Malaysian 370. Those words would become some of the most haunting final moments in aviation history. At first, authorities believed radar systems may have malfunctioned. But as minutes turned into hours, confusion quickly spread across multiple countries. Air traffic controllers lost all contact with the aircraft, while nearby planes flying through the region reported seeing nothing unusual. Then investigators discovered something even more disturbing. Military radar systems suggested the aircraft may have suddenly changed direction after disappearing from civilian radar. Instead of continuing toward Beijing, the plane appeared to turn back across Malaysia, before flying into the darkness above the Indian Ocean. Nobody understood why. Some experts believed the aircraft suffered a catastrophic technical failure. Others suspected hijacking. Some even believed someone inside the cockpit intentionally changed the plane's course. But without the aircraft itself, nobody could know for certain. Soon, one of the largest search operations in human history began. Countries from around the world joined the massive effort to locate the missing plane somewhere across the enormous Indian Ocean. Military aircraft, satellites, ships, and submarines searched endlessly through thousands of miles of empty ocean. But despite the enormous search, nothing was found. Days passed, then weeks, then months. Families of the passengers waited desperately for answers, while investigators became increasingly confused by the growing mystery surrounding Flight 370. Then came another shocking discovery. Even after disappearing from radar, the aircraft may have continued flying for several more hours through the darkness above the ocean. Satellite systems detected faint automated signals, known as handshakes, coming from the aircraft long after contact had already been lost. These signals suggested the plane continued traveling south deep into one of the most remote regions of the Indian Ocean, before finally disappearing forever. The revelation stunned the world. How could a massive modern aircraft vanish without explanation? Theories quickly exploded across the internet and news stations worldwide. Some believed the aircraft crashed due to mechanical failure or decompression inside the cabin. Others suspected terrorism or hijacking. More extreme theories claimed the plane had been secretly captured, hidden, or even destroyed intentionally. As the mystery deepened, people became obsessed with every detail surrounding Flight 370. Investigators carefully examined the pilots' backgrounds, flight simulators, passenger lists, cargo manifests, and communication systems, searching for any clue that could explain what happened that night. Still, no clear answer appeared. Meanwhile, the search across the Indian Ocean became one of the most difficult operations ever attempted. The region investigators focused on was enormous, isolated, and incredibly deep. Massive waves and violent storms constantly interrupted search efforts. Deep beneath the surface, underwater drones scanned the ocean floor, searching for wreckage hidden somewhere in the darkness. For years, almost nothing was discovered. Then finally, debris believed to belong to Flight 370 began washing ashore on distant islands near Africa and the Indian Ocean. Pieces of aircraft wings and damaged fragments matching the missing Boeing 777 were recovered by investigators. The discoveries confirmed one terrifying reality. Flight 370 had almost certainly crashed somewhere in the ocean. But even with the debris, the biggest question remained unanswered. Why did the plane disappear in the first place? To this day, investigators still do not fully understand exactly what happened aboard the aircraft during its final hours. Some aviation experts believe the plane slowly drifted south after everyone on board lost consciousness due to depressurization. Others suspect deliberate human action inside the cockpit. But without recovering the main wreckage or the flight recorders, the truth may never be fully known. Even now, more than a decade later, the disappearance of Flight 370 continues haunting investigators around the world. New documentaries, theories, and investigations continue appearing year after year as people desperately search for answers that may never come. Some experts believe the aircraft's wreckage could still be located somewhere deep beneath the southern Indian Ocean, hidden under miles of darkness where almost nobody has ever explored. Others fear the main wreckage may never be fully recovered at all. The mystery also changed aviation forever. After Flight 370 disappeared, airlines and governments began discussing new tracking technologies designed to prevent another aircraft from vanishing without explanation. The disaster exposed a terrifying reality. Even in the modern world filled with satellites, radar systems, and advanced technology, enormous sections of the planet remain isolated and difficult to monitor. And perhaps that is what makes the story so disturbing. A massive aircraft carrying 239 people disappeared into the darkness, almost without a trace. No final message, no clear explanation, only silence. For many people, Flight 370 became more than an aviation mystery. It became one of the most unsettling, unsolved disappearances in modern history, and somewhere far below the freezing waters of the Indian Ocean, hidden beneath darkness and endless pressure, the missing aircraft may still remain, waiting to be discovered.